Hey guys, happy Labor Day. Start off with. Hope everybody's had a great holiday weekend. I know I've enjoyed mine. Got to spend time with family. Wife and I got to go see a movie yesterday. We went and saw Oppenheimer, which was an excellent film. Uh, just kind of tooling around in the comic room and just kind of give you an idea of what I'm trying to attempt here. Uh, a while back, I got all my Bronze Age and older books, pretty much organized. But I still got like a corner here and several boxes under my sorting table that of like, I guess, Copper Age to new books or whatever. Because me, the Bronze Age kind of ended like in the late '80s or whatever. It's different for everybody. I don't think some people say it's 1986 or some people say it's 1988, 85. It just all depends on what you think. But this is like some, I guess, later Bronze Age or after what I call after crisis books, But I was just going through a box and I just found some stuff that are like the stuff that I enjoyed reading after the crisis thing happened, and just stuff from then on up till recently. Just favorite issues, maybe a book or two out of a favorite series, one shots, just things that I enjoyed. But anyway, I thought while I was doing that, I'd just go ahead and show a stack of some of my favorites that I pulled from this box behind me. First one is Shadow Pact. Great series from Bill Willingham. I think the first few issues he did the writing and the art. A lot of great characters there that I like. You got Nightshade, Nightmaster, Blue Devil, Ragman, Enchantress, Detective Chimp, all kinds of good. I think Phantom Stranger's in there, and I think Superman makes an appearance in this first one. So, pretty cool stuff. And for those of you who are Preacher fans, I still laugh when I see this cover, but this is the Preacher special, the story of you know who, the infamous Arseface. And Glenn Fabry, the guy that painted all these covers, he was at the Lexington Con back in March, and I looked everywhere for this book to get him to sign it, and I could not find it. Of course, now I find it. You know how that works. Anyway, great story, great painted cover. And talking about the after crisis stuff, if you're a DC guy, or more of a DC guy than other companies, after Crisis and Barry Allen got killed, I was like, why in the world, And I really didn't want to try this book, but once I tried it, I'm glad I did because I really enjoyed it. The Wally West version of The Flash. Here's the first issue by Mike Baron, Butch Guice, and Larry Malstead. Really, really good writing and some nice art. It's fighting Vandal Savage, one of my favorite villains. Here's a favorite issue from the second series of Swamp Thing by Rick Veitch and Alfredo Alcala with a Superman appearance. This is number 879. Yeah, great story. One of my favorites. Another storyline I really enjoyed from the Superman Batman series. And this is where, sort of like maybe an Elseworlds tale, but this is what happened if the Legion of Supervillains had found Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne as kids and raised them. They actually turned out to be tyrants. So, really cool story. They kind of, go back and forth through time. Commandy's in this story. I don't think this issue, but later on he's in the story. So that was another reason for me to like it. Great miniseries. I guess this was back, I'm not sure what year this came out. 2016 maybe. But a 6-issue Swamp Thing miniseries by Len Wein and Kelly Jones. And if you're fans of Wrightson's, Wein and Wrightson's Swamp Thing, you'll really love this. Another great series that I loved post-crisis was Animal Man. Here's one of those issues, number 17. The Grant Morrison run. Brian Bolland cover. Another favorite series. This is the next to last issue of Starman. Great stuff by James Robinson. I still have a few scattered issues to complete this one. And my favorite Justice Leaguer, here is a first part of a 6-issue miniseries from Red Tornado. This came out in 2009. I think Ed Benes did the cover. Good story. And here's my guy, Joe Kubert. Joe Kubert presents number 5 out of 6. You got Sergeant Rock, USS Stevens, Angel and the Ape, a series called The Biker, a little series called Spit. Kubert does like 3 or 4 of these stories. It's some of the last stuff he ever did, so definitely worth looking at. And more Superman Batman. This is annual number 3. This story is also by Len Wein. It's got a great Bernie Wrightson cover with the composite Superman, I'm sorry. So good story in there. This is one of those things that kind of polarizes people of they're fans of the Watchmen, the Before Watchmen series. This is number 6 of 6 of the Minutemen, and this is by Darwin Cook. This is really a good series. Some of the series I didn't care for. Some of them I really, really liked. This is one of them, and some of them I didn't like. So, but this one is definitely worth checking out. This is number 6 of 6. And I found a lot of Avengers, what I call later Bronze Age on up to now. This is one of my favorite covers by Steve Epting and Tom Palmer. Avengers number 367. The Great Vision cover. My favorite Avenger. And we're going back to just a little bit after Crisis. Here's Action Comics Weekly, number 627. And as our good friend Dr. Vonchillo would say, this is a blazer. Mr. Gil Kane doing Nightwing. And this is a little off the beaten path. This is from IDW. This is The Ghoul by Steve Niles and Bernie Wrightson. Really cool series. Some really nice Bernie Wrightson work in this. When I first heard about this, I thought it was stupid because I kind of remember Archie comics from as a kid, and then when they started doing like more, I guess, adult serious stories. But this was kind of a takeoff on Walking Dead, Afterlife with Archie. This is number 4. Excellent, excellent series. Highly recommend this one. Another favorite series, I was always a big fan of Squadron Supreme. This is a hardcore dark take on that by Michael J. Straczynski, Gary Frank, and Jonathan Sibal. This is number 12 of Supreme Power with Nighthawk and Hyperion there. Another great series. And here's the last issue of Starman, the aforementioned series I loved. Number 80. Another series I really enjoyed, Earth X. Here's Earth X Zero, Jim Kruger and John Paul Leon did the art. Alex Ross helped with the story and the covers. Really cool story. Here's a nice, it's issue number 12, but it's actually the first issue. Anybody remembers this? By John Byrne and Al Milgrom, Marvel: The Lost Generation. Kind of tells what happens like in between the Golden Age or maybe like the Silver Age and the Modern Age. There's some characters that we forgot about or you didn't know about. Really good story. Love Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's run on the new X-Men. So there's issue 136. And more Avengers here. Some of George Perez's best work, I think, when they restarted the Avengers in 1998 after the Heroes Reborn and all that debacle. And this is Heroes Return. This is the first issue of Avengers with Kurt Busiek and George Perez. I was kind of scanning through this, and there were like 2 or 3 pages that had 18 and 19 panels each, and I was just marveling at George Perez's artwork, which I still do. So another legend gone way too soon. Another series I enjoyed, The Sentry by Jenkins and Romita Jr. And here's a Another series I enjoyed. I think I put a lot of limited series in that box. This is 1602 by Neil Gaiman and Andy Kubert. And another limited series from Alex Ross and Jim Kruger and Steven Sadowski. This is the Marvel and Dynamite Entertainment, Avengers and Invaders. Big fan of both, especially the Invaders, so this is a really good story. Another great story, I guess from 1990. This was like a 3-part story. Dark Knight over Metropolis. This is Action Comics 654 with Superman and Batman. And I guess this issue's kind of famous. Of course, when they redid everything after the Crisis, Superman and Batman were just starting to get to know each other, and they weren't really friends. But this is the issue where Superman gives Batman a little piece of kryptonite, so if he ever went wild or somebody was controlling him, he'd have the power to stop him. So it's a really good story. And we have some Action Comics Weekly. This is a Brian Bolland cover. This is number 609, Brian Bolland cover. Black Canary burning her Justice League International outfit. And here we have the Kamandi Challenge Special number 1. Reprints issue 32, issue number 1, and the 2 issues that didn't get published, 60 and 61 in black and white. Part of the canceled comic cavalcade. I'll get it out. Another favorite series from the late 80s, The Question. Here's number 1. Great Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Great. I mean, I love this series all the way through. I think they ran 36 issues and maybe 4 or 5 quarterly issues and annuals. But Denny O'Neil, Dennis Cowan. It's really hard to beat this one. And speaking of George Perez again, I was a big fan of his Wonder Woman run. I think after a while he took over scripts and art. This is probably the first issue that he didn't do the interior art, but he did the cover, and this is a Invasion crossover with Rocket Red and Guy Gardner. Okay, and we're getting down to some what they call prestige books then, these little square-bound beauties. This is an Elseworld special, Superman World of Worlds by Roy Thomas and Michael Lark. Great story. Big fan of these square-bound books, in case you didn't know. Another square-bound book written by Larry Niven, great sci-fi writer, and John Byrne did the art. Green Lantern, Gambit's Tale. And here's the first part of another great series. Everybody's heard of this one. Batman Dark Victory, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. And I can't tell you how many times I've read this story. I love it. Love this, love the script, love the art. This is by Steven C. Siegel and John K. Schneider III, featuring the Golden Age Green Lantern, Alan Scott, Brightest Day, Blackest Night, as kind of a retelling of his, or a first-time telling of his first battle with Solomon Grundy there. JSA makes a couple cameo appearances in it, so that's pretty cool. Got some painted art, really good stuff. And that's it. Just thought I'd show you what I was going through the boxes and going through having to deal with it also. But just had fun doing that. Going to continue, probably spend the most of the afternoon doing this. But anyway, I hope you guys have had a great Labor Day weekend, and I will see you soon. Don't forget to watch Comic Book Memories next Saturday. Be there. Onward and upward.